Welcome to Art for Film's Sake. I'm Stephen Reed, and this is a poster tribute to Arnold Schwarzenegger. I normally start these tribute episodes with a backstory so that we can really get a sense of the person involved. Something to add real depth and substance to the story. But this is about Arnold Schwarzenegger. We don't love him because he was Mr. Universe at the age of just 20 years old and subsequently went on to win Mr. Olympia 7 times. We don't hail him because he overcame adversity and prejudice to become a Hollywood A-lister. We don't laud him just because he is a true humanitarian and all-round good guy. No, we love him because he is Arnie. One of a kind, king of one-liners.
If I'm not me, who the hell am I?
A gurning man mountain. A force of nature who created a genre and made it his own. There's never been an action hero like him before or since. I love the man and I love his films. And you've probably guessed by now, I love alternative film posters.
I've seen you before. You're the asshole on TV.
So, let's get on with it, shall we?
Enough talk!
Arnie's first major film role was Conan the Barbarian. Perfectly cast as the vengeance-seeking barbarian warrior, his performance set the blueprint for what was to come. This beauty by Jason Edmiston perfectly captures that sword and sorcery vibe. The artist's style of painting has a retro film poster vibe that works so well for this film. Another poster that has Arnie as the centerpiece is this one by Martin Ansin. His trademark line work has conjured up a stunningly detailed rendition of the sword-wielding warrior. But it's that striking use of shadows and white space that really sets this one apart. And this surreal take by Laurent Durieux has a really interesting vibe to it. Its apparently straightforward composition gives up numerous clever references to the story upon closer examination. Next came the film that made Arnie. Along with its even bigger sequel, The Terminator well and truly cemented him as a global superstar. A franchise that is so linked with Arnie, it's impossible to see how it can exist without him. This classic offering by Tyler Stout is so jam-packed with references and characters from the film, it's amazing that it's so well balanced and pleasing to the eye. Check out the dedicated episode on my channel for a more in-depth look at this one. And this piece from Stan and Vince is a poster of two halves. That gorgeously rendered T-800 exoskeleton looms over that dynamic alleyway chase sequence below. It really captures the edge-of-the-seat tension of the film. Next up came possibly the quintessential 80s action film Commando. A bunch of mercenaries decide to go after Arnie's character and kidnap his daughter to force him to carry out an assassination. Big mistake, assholes. This one by Kako is a great example of packing in lots of cool elements in order to create a dynamic poster. That unfeasibly large explosion in the background says it all. And this deliciously cheesy take by Tom Hodge also packs a lot in. That airbrush style is reminiscent of 80s computer games cover art and fits the film so well. The next film is my favourite Arnie film, Predator. A masterclass of action sci-fi from the legendary director John McTiernan. Arnie leads a team of elite paramilitaries on the hunt for a missing team of soldiers. They soon become the targets of an alien warrior who hunts for sport. This piece by Killian Eng will be immediately recognisable to fans of the film, as it uses the Predator's infrared vision to depict Arnie and his team as they seek to avoid becoming prey. This matching set by Krzysztof Domoradsky brings the two main protagonists and the South American jungle to life with mind-boggling detail. Note the interesting titles and credits on these too. And this wonderful take by James Ream Davis has a strong mixed media vibe that harks back to those VHS video covers from back in the day.
In the year 2017, an innocent man accused of a crime has a choice: hard time or prime time.
Sensational. Perfect contestant. I want him.
Later in the same year came The Running Man, a highly underrated film that has Arnie doing his thing on a dystopian American reality TV show. It's a fantastic vehicle for the big man, and, I think, such a rich source for alternative film posters, but, sadly, the only one I know in existence is this one by Christopher Cox. Although it might be trying too hard to fit everything in, it's a worthy homage to the film. The next couple of years saw Arnie branching out into slightly different roles. In Red Heat, Arnie plays a Soviet cop who begrudgingly teams up with brash American cop James Belushi to take on some bad guys. He again teams up with another actor, this time the diminutive Danny DeVito in cheery comedy Twins. And then Kindergarten Cop, a fairly enjoyable attempt to appeal to a wider audience. Thankfully, Arnie got back to his ass-kicking best in the 1990s sci-fi action romp Total Recall. Directed by Paul Verhoeven, it's a fantastic film that sends the big man gurning and maiming all the way to Mars. This piece is another fine example of Tyler Stout's trademark style. His ability to render likenesses with such a simple style really sings here. And I love this landscape poster by Chris Skinner. As is always the case with his work, he's packed in so many references in such an effortless way. And the way that title blends into the scene is brilliant. You'll also notice that it doesn't really feature Arnie at all. He's a small figure at the top left there. This is also true of this amazing work by Killian Eng. Arnie is seen at the bottom there, but it's a really interesting decision to feature the villain of the film, Cohagen, as the main focus here. I've done a whole episode dedicated to this poster, so make sure you watch that one on my channel. After Total Recall came Terminator 2. Undoubtedly bigger and arguably better than the original, this film raised the bar of what a blockbuster could be. It's a shame then that, for me, there is yet to be a poster that goes anywhere close to doing justice to it. And it's a similar disappointing scenario for the clever satire The Last Action Hero. This film really deserves some great posters. Thankfully, there are a couple of worthy pieces for what I think is Arnie's last truly great film, True Lies. He once again teams up with James Cameron to create a truly fantastic film. This piece, by Ivan Quintet, has a great James Bond poster vibe to it. It's a clever nod to Arnie's secret agent character. And this one, by Dave Morell, follows some familiar poster tropes, but delivers with a gleeful panache that's befitting of the film. Arnie went on to make many more films, but I don't think any of them came close to the classics I've highlighted here. His well-known foray into politics as the Governator is worthy of a mention too. But for me, Arnie is, and always will be, the greatest action hero ever seen on film. Films that I hope will inspire poster artists to do their thing for years to come.
So I cooked up a story and dropped the 6 of us in a meat grinder.